So this video is going to be for the people who don't feel that they can move forward after the loss of somebody else. And I've been in this situation before where it's hard to picture and it's hard to imagine a life without the people who have seemingly always been in it, or the people who have had a huge impact on getting you to where you are essentially. And what you have to realize is that the pain you're going through right now is eventually going to turn into a blessing, eventually going to turn into something that you appreciate, something that serves a purpose in your story. Because what you have to realize, in all pain there is purpose. It's pointing you towards, developing you for something that's more important down the road. And that's a mindset you have to think in. Like, what is my pain now preparing me for later? What lessons is it teaching me that I didn't previously know before had I not gone through this certain specific situation? And I get it. Right now, you're in a place of unfamiliarity. You feel like essentially a part of you is missing. It's almost like you don't know how to operate because what you've always operated with is no longer with you, or something that's been a key part of your operation is no longer there. And so there's almost like this void. There's almost like I think I've said before in one of my videos on our exclusive community, like it's almost like a lot that has been, or a mall that's been broken down, and you now have all this debris. You have this thing that's had a wrecking ball go right through it. And so now there's all this debris and you're sitting in this debris. And so now you're sitting here, all these emotions, all these different feelings. And it feels like there's so much that's been broken down. There's so much debris that it seems like it's impossible to clear out. It's impossible to build something new. And it's impossible to envision what it could eventually become, essentially. And so you have to start cleaning up one by one, cleaning up each piece of debris one by one, clearing everything out, and then eventually you have an empty slate. And then you eventually have to realize that you can rebuild something. You're capable of building something new, something that is better for you, something that is better than who you were in the past before that person came into your life. Understanding basically that this new version of you and the person that you are now is better than who you were before that person came into your life. And that just goes to show that that person serves some type of purpose in your life. That person helped you get a better understanding of yourself. That person helped you grow as a person to where you're capable of doing more in your life now. You're capable of stepping into a new version of yourself that's able to do a lot more in life than you previously were in the past. And so, realizing your strength and understanding that this is just another storm or another blockage in the road that you have to take the time to go through. You have to take the time to rebuild, because right now you're just in this place of discomfort and you're feeling a lot of things. And right now is the most important time where you have to essentially really reconnect with yourself, get a better understanding of yourself, really hold yourself together and not allow yourself to spiral. You have to make sure you're feeding yourself good thoughts, because what a lot of you guys might be going through right now is you're feeding yourself negative thoughts. You might be blaming yourself for your past. You might be living in regret. You might be telling yourself you're a problem, or there's something wrong with you. You might be diminishing your self-esteem. And all of those thoughts will eventually become beliefs. When you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, there's something wrong with you, you're to blame, it's your fault, yada, yada, you will eventually believe those things. And so you have to be very conscious of the thoughts that you're feeding yourself, because that will impact your confidence. That will impact how you approach future relationships. That will impact, how you feel about yourself and how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Like, understand, and even if you did make mistakes and things like that, make space for your mistakes. Make space to forgive yourself, because that's what will allow you to move forward rather than holding yourself against your past and living in your past, essentially. Even if you can't picture a better life without that person, even if you can't picture a new life without that person, or picture something without them in it, just start building. Just start moving forward. Just start putting new pieces into place. Start building things one by one. Sometimes your path and your journey is unique to you, and the only way that it can become something new is by you walking it. And so again, even with myself, I didn't know what I was going through would eventually point me towards making content and doing this type of content and helping other people. But it was I knew it served some type of purpose towards me, and I was willing to just move forward and start doing things. I think I mentioned this in previous videos, but at one point I was doing graphic design. At one point I was was kind of just like reselling things. At one point I was in school, and it was just me moving forward and trying to build something new that eventually led me to content creation. It was me being willing to meet new people and not get caught up on who I lost, but instead appreciating more who was still in my life and things like that. Like, all these various different things allowed me to move forward and let go of what was and start building something new. Even though I didn't exactly have a vision for what that new was going to be, I started setting new goals. I started setting, new expectations for myself. I started holding myself to different standards and things like that. And I essentially started finding more purpose in life that didn't revolve around what I had lost. Because like I've said before, like, a lot of my life depended on that situation and like that relationship, that person, yada yada, and like whatever the state of that relationship was determined the state of my life. And so, I had to, start building something new and proving to myself that, there's more to life than what I've lost in this life. There's more things to be happy about. There's more things that I have gratitude about. There's more things that I'm capable of doing in this world that isn't solely the situation that I've lost. In doing that and starting to build something new, again, I learned to appreciate my past. I learned to understand that like that was an essential part of my story and that it pointed me in different directions that I didn't even know I needed to be pointed in. It led me to my purpose. It led me to certain blessings. It led me to meeting certain people. It led me to, seeing how strong I really am as a person. What you have to realize, like, when you gain that courage to actually move forward, you realize that those pre-assumptions of you saying, oh, I'm not capable of moving forward, or I'm scared of moving forward, I'm scared of facing pain again, you don't realize, like, when you actually place yourself in those situations to face those exact fears, you're a lot stronger, you're a lot smarter than you previously thought. Like, sometimes we don't think highly of ourselves enough. We don't think positively of ourselves enough, and we exceed our own expectations. We know we're stronger. You're really stronger than you think, and you're capable of a lot more than what you hold yourself to, what you limit yourself to. And so it's this thing where I realized, like, how smart I really was, how strong I really was, how capable I was of doing certain things that I previously didn't think I was capable of doing. And so it was like I learned to appreciate my past because I realized, like, it helped me realize so many things about myself and discover so many things within myself that it was like, had I not gone through that exact situation, I wouldn't even know all these various different things. And so, again, you may not realize, you may feel this pain and you may feel all this discomfort and you may feel like a part of you is missing, but it's all serving a purpose that eventually will be a blessing and something you'll learn to appreciate because you haven't even seen the purpose that is served in your life and how it's making you a better you because you haven't started stepping into the life to show you how it's made you a better you. And so again, you have to be willing to take those steps. You have to be willing to step into a new life. You have to be willing to start building a new life and let go of what was and start stepping into and building what will be. Because like I've said in past videos, people are wants, not needs. You don't need anyone in your life. You may want certain people. People might, make life easier. People may, help you with your self-esteem more and your confidence and your self-love and things like that. But they aren't needs. You're capable of showing up for yourself in ways to where what you depend on other people for, you can provide to yourself. Now, if you're dependent upon some people and that's what's keeping you from moving forward, then you need to handle and heal those areas of your life. If you depend on other people for validation, you depend on other people for your self-esteem, you depend on other people in order to love yourself, then handle those areas. Don't allow them to go unrecognized. Don't start leaning on other people to provide them to you. No, face them because, again, that's what's going to build you into a stronger you. That may be the purpose they served in your life, to show you how much you were depending on them for your happiness, how much you were depending on them for your own self-esteem, how much you were depending on them in order to love yourself. And so that may be the purpose they were serving in your life that you now can hone in on and, again, become a stronger version of yourself. Become a version of yourself that's able to move forward in life and in future situations not allow the past to repeat itself. Because I think sometimes when you don't do the proper healing and you don't take the proper time to actually, build yourself and empower yourself from your past situations, then it's really pointless because the past will just always be capable of repeating itself. You know, if you never set those boundaries, those standards, if you never speak up for yourself, if you never lose the fear of losing people in your life, then, you know, you'll just do the same thing that you previously did in your past, and the past will always be able to repeat itself. But, you know, in this season of your life, you're really just being called to start finding a new focus, you know, losing the focus and, you know, slowly losing the focus on like what has happened and start focusing in on what you want to happen. You know, you've already gone through and felt exactly what you didn't want to happen. You've already gotten that outcome. Now it's like, okay, what do I want to happen? How can I build my life into something that will allow me to receive what I want to happen? You know, how can I turn my vision and my expectations into a reality, my dream into a reality? You know, what are the necessary steps that need to be taken? You know, what goals need to be set? What things do I need to start shifting my focus towards? You know, what areas of myself do I need to heal, and what habits do I need to start building, and things like that that will allow me to bring this vision to life? Because sometimes that's exactly what you just need to be doing this season. You know, sometimes your focus can't be on relationships. Sometimes your focus doesn't need to be on going out and partying and drinking, things like that. Like sometimes it's calling for isolation. Sometimes it's calling for a better understanding of yourself. Sometimes it's calling for a purpose that isn't revolved around something that's out of your control, but rather something that you always have something to go back to regardless of what happens. You know, you never want outside things such as people, such as outside results, and things that are just basically out of your control to determine your state of your life. You know, you want to have something that you can always come back to regardless of what's going on, that's in your control, that you don't have to depend on the outer world to be able to do it. So it might be me uploading on YouTube or, you know, helping people and things like that. Like I'm in control of that. So regardless of what people leave my life and things like that, I always have this to come back to. I always have this to be able to do for myself, because that's my purpose and that's something that I enjoy, and that's something I have goals around that, you know, is based on how I decide to live my life. And so you have to find that for yourself and whatever it may be. But, you know, I appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. I hope you learned a thing or two. Merch will be out very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. It's on the way. I'll keep you guys updated on that. Be sure to join up on the self-discovery community down in the description. Got exclusive videos in there. And yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.